Hello guys, and welcome to my first ever haul, I think. I really don't think I have done one before, but why am I doing one now? Because there was a yesterday, well, that doesn't mean much for when you're gonna be watching this, but there was a fair, a second hand type of market fair thing that happens in a park, car boot style thing without the cars. I don't exactly know how you guys call it in your country, but basically one of those things that people join themselves on the park, put tables and spread sheets on the floor and just spread all the merchandising, and we are supposed to just grab what we want and you pay. Please do pay, or yeah, you are supposed to pay. Anyway, that happens every month here. It was a little bit iffy in plague times, but now I think it's fully back on track. And since it's outdoors, it's also okay. But I wasn't expected to be this big this time. Lots of people came through. There was so many books. I basically went there for the books, but I had a very limited budget. I I I passed a lot of things that I could have grabbed because I just didn't because of my budget. Because I will be traveling, I need my money, and I don't need more physical books on my physical TBR. But let's face it, we need it. We don't need it, but we need it. Anyway, I've been ranting about for like almost 2 minutes about the circumstances of this video, but you guys know me, and if you guys are here, you know how this works. Anyway, I'm gonna start with like what I think it may be the most interesting piece, but also the biggest, and I have to take this out of here and put it on another place that it's not falling apart because this is very old. I do think that there's a possibility of this being an original. I'm still gonna look more uh, into this because I'm really I think this might be original because I don't see any reprints. I don't see any markings of this being a new thing. All of what I see tells me this is original. So this is a Victorian thing. It's the Illustrated London News for Christmas 1898. So big old booklet, and I will be investigating this. I need more space to actually remember it. But this has like the tales that I suppose people tell in Christmas because they look a little bit Christmassy by the illustrations, like with lots of dramatic flair. So kind of like the tales that people might like on Victorian times to tell at Christmas. It has lots of illustrations too. Christmas times, and has lots of advertisement, and I'm gonna study it. This in the background also has a full color advertisement for soaps. I'm gonna study this and learn exactly what this is all about. If this is what I think it is, like one of those specials for Christmas that it's 1 shilling. And Lord, it was not expensive. Um, that it came out for Christmas with like the advertisement, the tales for Christmas, the illustrations, all of that jazz. I leaning to turn that it might be. And if this is an original, I'm so very happy to have it. But I'm going to study. Thing is, I already been studying the ads to try to find brands that still exist and are still around, and I found only two that I know of: the Quaker's Oats and Inno Fruit Salt. So it was already been having an amazing time. I still have to dig into the stories because I didn't have that much time yesterday plus to read that, since there's parts on the cover that are trying to break. I need to be on the table or have like a space in front of me, and yesterday, after walking so much, that was not what I wanted. What I wanted was to lay down flat. But books, I have a pile of books here. 14 books beside me. I'm gonna start with the one that when I bought it, I had already read it, and I wanted a copy for myself for my Richard Dawkins collection. It is The God Delusion. I already have The Greatest Show on Earth already read, and The Selfish Gene is on my TBR, and I had, like I said, already read this. I liked it, and I just like how Richard Dawkins writes. I think it's just beautiful prose. Even if you don't um, agree or care about the subject, I think most people can agree that he writes really good. It's really talented writer, and I really wanted this one, so I got it. Now the second one that I'm gonna show you is one that I hadn't read it when I got it, but in between last night and this morning I finished it, and it was a bit of a disappointment, to be honest. And it is Bad Dogs Have More Fun by John Grogan. It's the author of Marley and Me. I haven't read Marley and Me. I tend to run away from pet books, but this one is supposed to be selected writings on family, animals, and life from the Philadelphia Inquirer. So this was not supposed to be a pet book, and it wasn't, even though the name is a little bit misleading. So it's non-fiction. It's the collection of the writings that he did for the journal The Philadelphia Inquirer. It has lots of themes to it. But you guys, if you read non-fiction and this type of non-fiction, you guys know that you can write about very mundane things, like you can write about going to the grocery store and meet some friends, and that be the most interesting thing that people will read, because you do it just beautifully. Your prose is beautifully, you make people imagine it and look at things that maybe they didn't think about it. It's engaging, all of that thing. This one, no. It was flat and boring, and it almost read like the just news, just informing people that X and Y happen. There's some things in here that are actually interesting and could have been developed in interesting way, but like, even though some topics are interesting, it managed to feel, the way that it's written, the author managed to make it feel boring. So this is just like a hole in a hole. This book is going away. Probably not. I'm not throwing this away. I'm just putting this on the pile of books that I give away for my several dealers out there. Dealers, no. Well, at least one is a dealer, but several places that I might donate the books. The next three ones. I'm not sure how exactly this one were called in English, but I'm not exactly sure if you guys care that much. I will literally, I don't think it has the name. Oh, it has. So it's three of this make your own adventure books, because I have read one last month, because I had one on my TBR, and I had more fun than I thought I would have, because I do enjoy Pathfinder. It's a thing that I love. Like, I mean, if you guys been here, you know that I love those types of games. I haven't been playing that much, and when you this just scratches an itch. Let's put it like that. So, for example, you have this one. It's the one that I'm less excited, because instead of being like fantasy, is a bit on the sci-fi part, and I do prefer my fantasy a little bit better. It's Star Strider by Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone. So there's like I don't even know what that monster is, but it's one of the things. Also, this one is one that has like the worst illustrations, to be honest, because it's the poorest illustrations on my thing. But yeah, you don't know. You may be fun adventure. You don't know. This is the island of the Lizard King by Ian Livingstone. So, not sure if that's the king. That's a Steve Deterrent right here. But yeah, this illustrations on this one already better. They already start to look better. I know that I'm a little bit how do you say it? I'm not finding a big one. I'm a little bit biased because I do prefer my fantasy, but I know they look better. And this one, how is it this one called in English? The Crypt of the Sorcerer. The name in English, in Portuguese, is not that. The name in Portuguese is the Infernal Dungeon, if you want to translate it. But here it is. Really yucky, with a thing that I have to work out and take off of there. This one has some normal illustrations and then some that are a little bit on the yucky side, as you guys can probably guess by the cover. So yeah, 3 more. I'm still not exactly sure if I'm gonna keep all of this. One of those things that I want this for is for the illustrations, because you guys know that I'm an illustrator and I want to have more things that I like the illustrations, so I just can go and look at and get inspired by. But also because you can try this again and again and have different results. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna decide which ones I'm gonna keep, but that's it's a problem for future Anna. No, I did fun and I was so damn happy that it happened. I did found 2 of my cheesy romances, basically just historical romances. I like to call them cheesy because I love them, and it's not a bad name for me, it's a loving name. So don't take offense to that, because I love these things a lot. And now I do need to find names in English. This is Beware of Virtuous Woman by Cassie Michaels, with a very cute cover, I must say. Now it is all scratch, and those are old because people here in Portugal that actually read or have these books on their possession, they treat them like garbage. They don't treat them as good as the other books, and they don't treat them let's just say that I found some other books that were in even worse conditions than this one that I could have bought, and I didn't because they were just completely awfully. It's just a mess. So that's one, and the other one is by Stephanie Lawrence, and it is called. Where is the name of this one? A Lady of Expectations. You wouldn't think there would be a lady on the title because it's just the mister on the cover. A little bit worse, even on the back, but this is like the very lowest that I go, because I think that both of these books are for collections that I have in the doing, they're gonna just like be spots that I'm missing on those collections, so I'm gonna keep those, mark them on like my inventory, like that I can if I found another copy of them I can purchase and just do not keep these ones for the future. But to be honest, if they don't have mold and they are still readable and they do not deteriorate on my hands, because I'm very soft with my books. I can read a book that is falling apart and they several times and it will be the same. No, it won't be no worse. So to be honest, if I don't see any signs of mold or anything like this, I'm probably just gonna keep these ones and they will be safe on my collection and less things thrown into the dump or the recycling bin. Next two are Greek writings, if I'm not mistaken. I know my things. I know. I don't know. I sometimes switch Greeks with Romans because I haven't read enough on those, I have to say. So if sometimes I call someone that is supposed to be Greek Roman and Roman is Greek, you guys tell me because I sometimes mess up. This is another cover that has seen better days, but I do intend to like annotate this heavily when I went through it, and it is the Odyssey by Homer. I think you guys say Homer without the final O. Here in Portugal we call it Homero. I don't know which one is the closest to the truth, so just let's just say Homer for you guys. So this is the Odyssey. Have I read it or no? Do I know the basic story? Yes. One of our, I think it was like 5th or 6th grade, one of our obligatory readings, words, was the Odyssey, but it was not the Odyssey. It was like a condensated and like kid-friendly version of it, with some bad illustrations, because usually books in Portuguese have really bad illustrations and I don't know why. I'm sorry, I'm all itchy and I don't know why. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. I do say that I'm gonna heavily annotate this copy because I've been looking at what is available in Portugal in the matter of like translations and all of this. I have started reading this one on my library. I picked it up and just to check how the translation worked for me. I read a little bit. I actually quite liked it. It is annotated also. It's not like big annotation. You can barely even see, so I'm not even gonna say. It's just like telling you exactly who those places are being named are, or more pertinent information about certain characters, so we don't just hear the names and yeah, it's just another name, so it's not critically annotated or anything like that. So I think it's gonna be a good place to start with reading the Odyssey, then I will graduate for other things. So yeah, this is gonna be my first reading copy of the Odyssey. That's also one of the books that I have to read for classics this year. That I'm completely reading the wrong classics because I picked random classics on the beginning of the year for some reason instead of just picking a number, and I want to read classics but not the ones that I picked. But this one, I already have it, so I'm gonna read it. Another one is from Xenophon. I am sorry, but I don't know how to say this name. It's Conversations of Socrates. Now, this one, I'm not completely sure that this one is going to be like my next read, but I won't read all of that is to read from Greek and Roman. I'm just gonna see if I have to read something before it, and I think that besides, I don't want to call different names. People was what? Please, just give me the name. This is just like the other account of Socrates things that he teaches. You guys can see that I'm very not sure anything about this because I haven't read it. But I'm going to do my homework, see if this is the best place to start when it comes to Socrates, if there is the other book written by the other person that the name is just under my tongue because it's really simple, but let's just forget about it. And see if if I have to do any homework before starting this one, but I do want to not let this die on my shelves, so I intend to read this before the end of the year, because I really don't want books to go there to die, because I really do have an interest and I don't on these things, and I don't want them to just stay there because I'm a little bit intimidated. No, I'm gonna grow a pair of balls and just do it. So yeah, these two classical writings finally going there. The one that I read a little bit yesterday, and I'm just, to be honest, not too sure if I enjoyed it. Probably one that I'm gonna read and then send away if it continues like this. It's What Needle Cleopatra and Other Little Secrets Airbrushed from History, and it's from Phil Manson, the same author of Napoleon's Hemorrhoids. Yeah, it is actually a good hardcover under it, just a reddish hardcover. Really good find. The thing is, this is just snippets from history, and I'm not exactly sure if we even have like a bibliography where all of this came from. I don't remember. It has an index, but no, it doesn't have like a bibliography, because some things are not facts. It's like a he said, she said, and I'm not exactly sure if it's something that appeals to me. I prefer to have like, okay, these are the facts, these are the speculations that we can take of the facts, are the other speculations we can make. You think where you think this is, that's my type of books when it comes to history. Or if it's just shows one side, it like puts the facts, the author does its interpretation, but it's not shoving it down your throat. This is not shoving it down your throat. It's just some things that I read and I'm just like, I kind of wanted to go check where that came from, if you guys know what I mean. So yeah, I'm gonna keep reading this. Also, I don't know. I think this. I'm not the a target audience from this, because I want to learn more and more from history, because I'm iffy on a lot of parts of history and I want to have like a better knowledge overall. And this one is just little snippets here and there, so I think that's an issue for me. But anyway, some of the things up here have been fun. I have just read like 22 pages. It's almost nothing, but yeah. What Needle Cleopatra? Basically that she isn't that pretty. We already knew that, but it depends on what you call pretty though, because you can not look pretty but be attractive because of your personality. And one thing Cleopatra had was a presence. That's for sure. So I think she might still have attractive points. I also think that this video might come to an abrupt pause if that cat is going to vomit. Yeah, we are going pause. Okay, crisis averted, but pauses still may happen because we are always on cat duty here. Only 4 books left, so we just gonna fly through it, okay? Or try to. This one I saw it, I just ran to it and grabbed it, and I was very happy. And it is, sorry, I keep on looking at this. It is Outlaw by Angus Donald, and it is a retelling of Robin Hood. Now, I do know the story of Robin Hood. I have seen several adaptations and interpretations and all of that. So I kind of know, but I haven't read any of the originals. And what I want to do is read some of the original retellings, at least the most famous ones. I have to gonna do some research and then start this series so I can see where they are going for with the things that they are using and what they are doing different. I think that to actually do a good review of this, so sticker, I have to do that work, and I will subject myself to it because why not? It sounds fun anyway, and I want to read them. This book, it was basically a cover by. I knew nothing about it. The next two books were a cover by, and it is The Harriet Emperor's A Hidden Inheritance by Edmund de Wall. I saw this cover in the title and I was like, yeah, it's good. And then it has a step back with like the rest of the little. Okay, the glare is not helping. With the little trinkets, and this is. I kinda picked on it, and I'm not mistaken. This is about an inheritance of like these little trinkets that have a name. They are wood and ivory carving, correct? Wood and ivory craving, not cravings, carvings. Words, dear Lord, words are difficult. And they are supposed to be the last thing that remains from the properties and like major wealth of a big family that started like before World War II, and then after World War II, this basically what's left of that wealth. And that sounds stupidly interesting. I mean, what the hell happened to that family? I just want to know what happened. So yeah, a little bit of a cover by, but it turns out it's actually interesting. And the next one, a little bit of a cover by for other things. First, because it's about chocolate, and I think that breadsticks and bookmarks, or is it bookmarks and breadsticks? I don't know the order. I am so sorry. I will link her channel down below. I am not sure if this is one of the books that I saw her talk about chocolate, or like on a haul or something, or if my brain just said like, this is a book she would read, and you have been trying to find food related books. So I grab it, and it is The Emperors of Chocolate Inside the Secret World of Hershey and Mars. And I mean, the cover is deliciously looking. I mean, look at those kisses. I can't even eat regular chocolate. And she was saying hello. I can't even eat regular chocolate anymore, but this looks so good. And yeah, it's basically talking about Hershey and Mars, and has pictures also, that it's always amazing. And I'm curious. I am very, very curious about what is this all about. So yeah, probably if it is a girl book, I will let you guys know exactly what this is about and give you a little bit more detail on it. It is also extremely floppy. It is amazing, but not good when you're trying to slot it on on a pan. And on the last one, I went to this market with my mother, and she knows that I like Victorian type things. She saw the cover. I'm not completely sure if she understood that this is about something that I really like, or she does not remember the names, but she saw the cover and she was like, I was in one corner on one of a long table, and she was on the other one, and I just see her making gestures for me and lifting this cover, and I was like, I need that. That's Charlotte Bronte. I would recognize her face anywhere, so I need this. And this is they changed the name completely. In Portuguese it's the Bronte sisters, but it is the Bronte story, not history, by Margaret Lane. I do not remember exactly the subtitle in English. Let me see if it has here. I say let me see because sometimes, for some reason, the oldest books in Portuguese do not offer that. Yeah, it doesn't offer the subtitle, only the title. This was written after Elizabeth Gaskell wrote her Charlotte Bronte biography. So, from what I vaguely read on the inside, because I just read a couple of lines to make sure that I had this book, because this book is not on Goodreads in Portuguese, so I'm gonna have to add him to make sure it was the book that I saw in English. I think that Elizabeth Gaskell wrote that. This author read it and wanted to add the rest of the Brontes, especially Emily. I think this is heavily about Charlotte and Emily, but it touches a little bit on Anne and Branwell. And I just said I wanted to read more Gaskell, and that one is one of the books that is just like on the top of her big books. I've been doing short stories and novellas at the moment, but when I want to pick up another of her big books, The Life of Charlotte Bronte, it's the first one that I want to pick up. So I'm thinking that a dual review of this and then add a couple of research about what happened to both these books happened, basically what led Gaskell to write that one book and why this person decided to write this book and make it almost a response to the other book, because it starts talking about Elizabeth Gaskell in the beginning. What was the synchronicity? What was the circumstances that make both of these books happen? I'm curious. So I think that that's another plan. Read Gaskell book about Charlotte, and then read Margaret Lane book about the Bronte sisters, about the Bronte story. I don't know why they call it just the Bronte sisters in Portuguese, but like I say, there are lots of Portuguese decisions about book titles and covers and illustrations and translations that are very iffy. So yeah, I'm really happy I have found this one. And yeah, this was my haul. I talked about 16 things and it's half an hour has passed. Yeah, I'm not gonna even try to apologize for this. It happened. You guys knew. You saw the timeline, the time that this video was, so yeah. Again, phone, because people cannot live without me and I forget to take this on. Anyway, this is all for now, guys. If you guys have read any of these books, let me know. And which ones do you guys want me to talk about next or read next, because you guys are interested. Let me know all of that. And yeah, that's all for now, guys. Bye.